We are back from year 2 of Watch Week Aspen.
Yes.
And I got to say, it was incredible. We met so many good people. Before I forget, I promised one hardcore shout out to my guys in South Mississippi. Frank, it was great meeting you. And what a great week.
We had so much fun. It was our second year of hosting Watch Week Aspen. Of course, in Aspen, Colorado, 16 brands and retailers participated this year, all with a presence around Aspen. So really the idea was to get all these brands and partners involved, put on really cool events over the course of a couple days, special exhibitions. We saw some watches debut for the first time, but it's all throughout the little town that you can walk around. So you can pop over here to see this seminar, come over here to see this brand, and the brands really brought it this year. I was very impressed.
And that might be my favorite thing about it. When you founded it last year, we kind of spoke about it, like what do we want it to be? And as a watch nerd primarily, I wanted it to be something I would want to go to. And I think we've achieved that in spades. For the collectors, for the community, everyone joined in. There's no competition. Between brands, between retailers. It was just so much fun, and everybody pulling the same oar. It was really, really cool.
I mean, there's nothing more beautiful than being in Aspen in the summer. We had a perfect weather, which was a little bit stressful for the host.
We couldn't have dialed that in. It was absolutely perfect.
So many outdoor activities.
I was chilly one morning.
But let's maybe talk about some of the highlights that we thought over the long weekend and the week. First, I want to talk about Jimmy Chin coming out and doing a hike with Fremont.
Really, really cool. We had our opening night party. Mr. Chin showed up at the very, very end of that. So I got to chat with him a little bit. I did not do the hike. I think the biggest thing for me this year was how busy we were in the store.
Right.
So we had all these social activities. Some I could attend, some I couldn't. That was when I couldn't attend.
We took a group with Fremont up Aspen Mountain, up on the side of Aspen Mountain. Not quite all the way, but enough where you got a really pretty view. And Jimmy Chin was with us, and he kind of got to speak to the mountains and exploration and some things he's working on. If you're not familiar with Jimmy Chin, he is a world-renowned explorer, climber. You need to check out some of his documentaries. I can't even do it justice what he does. Free solo, especially. I mean, it's terrifying.
Covered in nope.
So it was great to see him out on the mountain. I think it was a good hike. Probably an easy hike for him, but a good challenge for the group.
Well, and that was the funny part, because we kind of billed it as more of a nature walk than a hike. And I saw everybody coming back down the mountain, and some people were just about dead, like just covered in sweat. Like it was a hike. Don't fool yourself. This is real work.
Of course, we had breakfast afterwards, so that was key. And then the next morning, we were out again. We had more cane up in Aspen, which was awesome. They had the perfect watch for being outside, and we went and played Pickle Ball with Alex Ferreira, who is a local Olympian, a hometown hero, and is also very good at pickleball.
Yeah, also very good. Yeah, well, he's an athlete, man. There's no two ways about it. He was kind enough to bring up some of his medals. He's got the X Games medals. He has a silver and a bronze. We need to complete the collection this year.
No pressure on him. But surprisingly, there were some great pickleball players in the group, and it got a little competitive.
Well, I mean, I know the Smith family and those who surround him tend to be pretty competitive. So I bet you.
It wasn't me.
Alex, yeah, sure.
Friday night, we had a big collectors party. That was new this year, to throw a big event. We had some welcome cocktails Thursday, but a big party again at the base of Aspen Mountain.
Beautiful.
It was gorgeous. And I think it was just a really fun opportunity. You had the industry people there, but also those who attended Watch Week and, true collectors to kind of share.
Well, and it was really fun for me on both sides. To meet the collectors, to meet the fans of the channel. Thank you. But there were really captains of industry there. There were some of the bigwigs. There were a lot of the brand presidents. It was really cool just to have them let their hair down a little bit, have a drink, talk about what's going on. And it was really, really interesting.
In that way, I kind of feel like it's when we go to Geneva for Watches and Wonders, but it's only industry, and you walk into a room and it can be all these industry titans, people who are very influential in the business world. Well, we kind of got that at our own party, but you as a collector, or maybe more of a consumer of watches, had the opportunity to speak to them, say what you like about the brands, hear what's happening next. I feel like that's super unique.
Yeah, that was really important. I think an underlying current to the whole event was pulling the curtain back. Really, like as a collector, as a fan of watches and the whole community, but really giving them an opportunity to get in with these people and kind of see there were some watch debuts that happened. Yeah, it was really, really interesting. I personally was really just enthralled with the new watch from Arnold & Son. That their new debut second with that Ascot blue. Is that what that Ascot blue dial? Samira was kind enough to bring an extra one for me to wear for a couple of days. So yeah, it was a good watch.
And that was the debut here in the U.S. That's going to be available in the next couple of weeks. Yep. So that was exciting. We also had Glacut Original debuting their new kind of Miami-inspired white dial, 70s-inspired retro watch.
Limited edition, U.S. only, 10th anniversary of the Senator 70.
Got it.
Just fabulous watch. One of their best movements, the caliber 36, in a really cool case. And it's the only square panda I think I've ever seen. Correct me if I'm wrong. Comment below. But yeah, it was really cool.
Sharp looking in person, and it's cool to have this stuff in person for the first time. You can see it at Watch Week. You're not going to see it anywhere else. And you got to talk more to our media team because we didn't get over there, but I heard Elong and Suna had some amazing pieces as well.
Well, so year one was great for me. It was small, and not everybody knew about us yet. And like I said, with the community, one of the cool things I got to do was go to all of our competitors, and they got to show me really cool stuff. We got to film a lot of content, and I got to go out and be a watch nerd. We were just too busy this time. Elong and Suna had every single version of the Odysseus there on display. And one thing we had done here years ago, when we had Elong and Suna, we had they flew out one of their watchmakers. They did the same thing this year in Aspen. They had one of the watchmakers there, had everything under a microscope, really going through the movement. So I think for those who want to dig a little deeper, there was a lot there for you as well.
And I think Audemars Piguet had a watchmaker in one day as well.
Yeah. Betteridge had the F1 simulator up there.
They
really
had
cool.
H. Mosier did an F1 simulator one day. That was a huge hit. I don't know if you've ever done one. I got to do one a couple of years ago with Williams and Bremont. It is so hard. And everyone was coming out of there, and they were like, I was just driving on the grass the whole time. That was really cool. They set that up. They also had Zenith there, and Ellen, the president of Zenith Americas, was in town, which was really neat. And they had a great little coffee station where you could kind of stop and get a pastry and chat.
And they did that kind of 160th anniversary thing on top of their coffee.
Yes.
Super cool. Yeah.
That was well done. The one thing that really surprised me, that it was totally unexpected, was how often I saw people wearing a watch on each wrist.
A lot of dual wrists this year. Yeah.
That was dual
wild.
wrist. And I think it's because people were so excited and they're like, okay, I'm going to a watch event and there's this big party tonight. What in the world am I going to wear? How am I going to choose? Okay, I'll wear both.
And 2 different brands. And there was really cool.
And then people bringing their watch rolls. Even the DJ brought his watch roll and kind of had it out. And while he was DJing, was talking to people about his pieces. I mean, it was so fun. And we've joked, behind the scenes for years, how great it would be for business if it became trendy to wear 2 watches. But it was fun.
Double the sales.
Yeah, exactly. But it was fun to see people do it, I think, because they were so genuinely excited to share their pieces.
And that was it. Yeah, there was just everybody really let their head on and had a really, really good time. And people attended our little panels. Elizabeth and Company put together 2 different panels, one of them of presidents of different brands, and then one more of a collector's panel.
Yeah. I mean, the level of access to hear some of the presidents, and then we also had Davide, the CEO of Bremont, on the panel, was super interesting. Hear them talk about the brand's directions, also what's going on currently in the marketplace. Of course, we open it up to questions. People were asking questions about what's currently happening in the watch world, etc. And then one of the favorite panels we do every year is kind of a collector's panel where we talk about more what's going on, state of the pre-owned watch market, collecting. You can really ask questions about investing in watches and such like that. And I'd never before heard a panel series or even a YouTube video with this level of expertise being honest and being like, hey, here's what's really happening behind the scenes, here how we feel. We kind of touched on everyone now. Sometimes people, they get a microphone in front of them, they're an expert, but we had probably over 200 years of experience on that panel. And they're like, no, here's what goes on with business decisions. Here's what we're seeing with brands. And here's how we advise collectors. I thought it was really
and it was a wide swath because you had Jeff, who does, social media and community. You had myself, which is retail, secondary market, and, you're a Red Bar fan, things like that, fan of the industry. Yoni does what I do, but on like a higher level. And then we had Oliver Smith there as like ownership. And so we had a lot of different perspectives. I loved that. It became a conversation. It became very, very intimate. And again, like we originally discussed, that was something I would have wanted to go to.
Right.
So I think that was really important. And I think you nailed it, the access. I'm hanging on every word of the people around the panel because I'm learning stuff.
I was interested to hear what you would say.
Really cool. Yeah.
And I think that's our goal overall. Now we get to attend all these watch events around the world, industry, collector stuff, but to see how we make it different, how we want to make it different was really special. And I'm happy we achieved that.
And I got to just a huge shout out to the Oliver Smith marketing team. If you went to this, it was polished, it was big, it was grand. And this was done by the blood, sweat, and tears of like 5 people here at Oliver Smith. It was absolutely wonderful. So thank you.
I couldn't agree more. Okay. And also I would say a highlight of the event was the amazing watches we saw on wrists.
So good.
I have never seen so many great watches walk into one place at one time. So, George, I have to ask you, what was your favorite?
So, back-to-back years, it was Yoni's watch. He wore a raw-on bracelet last year that I didn't even know existed, and this year we're on the panel. So next to him, I catch it out of the corner of my eye. It's this wonderful Audemars Piguet perpetual calendar, ultra-thin, white gold, vintage piece. It just comes in with that one piece that, if I've seen it once, it was 20 years ago, and it was kind of out of my brain,
right.
but he just brings it back up to the forefront. So thanks.
One of the highlights for me, I would have to say, is Omega bringing in their Platinum Tourbillon. It's a watch I hadn't seen yet in person. It's stunning, so well made. And what was cool is Omega had this whole materials presentation. So you could see for all the materials they use in their watches, from the cases to the sapphire, they had the raw materials and then how they got it to the watch.
The meteorite in particular was really cool to see that process.
We hear about it and we talk about it all the time, but I was like, whoa, this whole thing is a ceramic case and this becomes this. It was really interesting. And lots of the watch brands that were at Watch Week Aspen, we are also authorized dealers here for at Oliver Smith Jeweler. We also sell lots of pre-owned watches. So head to our website, oliversmithjeweler.com. Inventory is live and you can chat with us there to purchase your next watch.
So if you have any questions regarding the market, tariffs, how to put together a collection, where to start, what makes one watch different than the other, I'm here to help. So please just post your questions down below and I'm happy to answer them as best I can.